What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. Alright, we're going to start this one off with an update from Josef Kveton. Now, Josef Kveton is a guy that a lot of people probably do not have on their radar coming into the 2024 bodybuilding season. We last saw Josef compete at the 2023 New York Pro, where he took third place, and he is planning on competing in the 2024 New York Pro, which puts these updates around 3 or 4 weeks out of the show. And based on what we're seeing here, Josef is going to be showing up here in shape. I mean, show me any other competitor out there right now that can rival Josef Kveton when it comes to the roundness of the shoulders and the striations of the shoulders. I mean, it's absolutely insane to see proportions like this from the front. Now, in one of the pictures that he posted here, the caption translates to something like "no need to show the legs." He was trying to reference that, his legs were absolutely toast after training them. But the fact of the matter is, with Josef Kveton, we do need to see the legs, because that is something that he did need to bring up when it came to his physique. Now, he did also suffer a pec tear roughly about 9 weeks ago. It couldn't have been that serious of a pec tear, because he also posted that he is fully recovered from that injury, and we know that typical pec tears can take guys out of the game for months, if not an entire bodybuilding season. So that does tell me that it wasn't a very serious pec tear, and he's very lucky if that is the case. Did it set him back when it came to his training? Absolutely it would have. Would it have given him more opportunity to train the legs? Most definitely, and that's something that he did need to concentrate on. But if he did bring up the legs to match his ridiculous upper body, we could see a threat to that top 5 in the New York Pro. So you guys let me know, even just based on what we're seeing now, do you think that this is a competitor that a lot of people could be sleeping on? And do you think it's possible for Josef Kveton to crack the top 5 in what is going to be a very stacked New York Pro lineup? Alright, next up, we've got an update here from Carlos Thomas Jr. And it's very rare to get any updates from Carlos Thomas Jr. throughout the bodybuilding season. He really doesn't post very often when it comes to physique updates. So when he does post, everybody is there to see exactly what kind of improvements that he's made, because we are looking to see improvements. Carlos was scheduled to compete in the Arnold Classic South America, but unfortunately had to drop out due to some family emergency, and my condolences to Carlos on the loss that he suffered in his family. But when it comes to the physique update here, I don't know how recent these pictures really are, but I think it is safe to say, if these are any kind of recent, that we will not see Carlos Thomas Jr. at the New York Pro. And that's a show that a lot of people were expecting Carlos to come and compete at, and that would be a very, very strong measuring stick for Carlos Thomas Jr. to be able to stand next to the likes of Nick Walker. They have similar qualities, where Carlos is just as much of a mass monster, if not more of a mass monster, than Nick Walker, if you guys can even believe that. But it's true, he could be even bigger than Nick Walker when it comes to standing on a bodybuilding stage. And I think with his increased aesthetics as compared to Nick, he would compare very well. Now, the one thing with Carlos that he really needed to bring up this offseason was the back. And from what we're seeing here, I'm just not seeing the improvements in the back that we really need to see from Carlos Thomas Jr. to consider him to be in that upper echelon of bodybuilding. Although he does clearly have the potential, we need to see the back come up, and we need to see him come in absolutely shredded out of his mind. We see those two things, and we could easily see a competitor that skyrockets to the upper echelon of bodybuilding. Now, there is no show announcement that I know of from Carlos Thomas Jr. as of yet, but as soon as we find out, I'll be sure to report back to you guys. But you guys let me know, where do you think we will see Carlos Thomas Jr. in the 2024 season? And if he does qualify for the Olympia, based on what we're seeing here, where do you think he could actually land in the Olympia lineup? You guys let me know below. Alright, next up, let's talk about a competitor that clearly does have a ridiculous back. Probably the most ridiculous back in the history of bodybuilding. Derek Lunsford dropped an update here, which really made people remember why he is indeed our current reigning Mr. Olympia. This back is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know anyone that is carrying this kind of mass in the back. It's absolutely unbelievable to even consider someone to have this kind of mass when it comes to the back. And I really think this is something that Derek did need to post on his social media. He did have some updates there from a few weeks ago when he had some beach posing shots. I'll show you guys here. Honestly, when he posted them, I was a little bit underwhelmed. Of course, you can't expect him to be running gear hard, all the time. He did need time to clean out, but the timing for Derek when it came to posting these shots also was not ideal, because these were released around the same time that Hadi was just finishing up, winning back-to-back Arnold Classics. And some of the comparisons did have many people questioning even more so if Derek really can come in and defend his Olympia title, because a lot of people had Hadi winning the 2023 Olympia even before this first quarter in the 2024 season. But after this update, I think that conversation could easily take another turn. Derek seems to have finished up a health phase, and I think he's definitely entered a growth phase at this point. And honestly, not a moment too soon for Derek Lunsford. I think he's seen what Hadi brought to both Arnold Classics, not just Hadi, but Samson as well. He's probably seen Nick Walker lately, and he probably figures that he better get his ass in gear and get to work to make the improvements that he needs to make to successfully come in and defend his first Olympia title. And that first title defense is absolutely crucial as far as I'm concerned. You win one Mr. Olympia title, that's all well and good. You're definitely the best in the world. But if you really want to solidify yourself as a true Olympia champion, that really is what will solidify you as an undeniable champion and not just a one-off, which, is kind of funny to say about the best title in the world for bodybuilding, but it is true. There is that perception out there amongst the bodybuilding world. Now look, again, when it comes to the back shots here, Derek was always praised for his back, but this is the first update that I've seen in his offseason where I really do see notable improvements, and this is his strongest body part to begin with. So I think this does show that Derek can continue to improve. He did win the title for a reason, and if he continues on this same path throughout the offseason, he will be a difficult champion to defeat. Alright, last up, we've got an update here on Sergio Oliva Jr., and this is someone that I haven't spoken about in quite some time. Sergio Oliva Jr. actually left Dubai and moved to Spain to train under none other than the shadow, Dorian Yates. Their training began back in, I believe, early February, but it seems that has taken a bit of a turn here. According to Chris Cormier, the relationship between Sergio Oliva Jr. being trained by Dorian Yates has ended. I'll run the clip for you guys right here.
Will we ever see Sergio back on stage?
Yeah, just not right now. Not right now.
Man. Year, 2 years?
Not right now.
Is he still training with Dorian?
Not right now. Yeah. I don't want to say the wrong thing about sometimes. Some people be like, oh, he knows what you're talking about, or you don't know what he's talking about. I know what I'm talking about, and I know what I know.
You're not talking about nothing, that's why.
Exactly. Let's just leave it at that.
And look, keep in mind here too, the last time that Sergio posted any footage of him training with Dorian was actually March 12th, which would have put that around, 5 or 6 weeks ago, which would not be enough evidence in and of itself to really say that relationship has ended. But the fact that Chris is in Spain right now, you guys probably saw that he was out partying with Dorian Yates on 4/20 for his birthday. But yeah, the fact that Chris is there and would have got that information directly from Dorian really does tell me that relationship has ended. And I think it is safe to say, from the tone that Chris displayed in his delivery of that message, that Sergio is no longer working with Dorian, it does sound like whatever went down was not an amicable situation. And look, whatever Chris knows, and we have no idea, there's a couple of things that could have taken place here. One possibility is that Sergio simply could not handle the training that he was going through with Dorian Yates. And we have heard that about people that have gone to train with Dorian before. Dorian is renowned for being absolutely relentless on anybody that shows up, and it's well known that a lot of people wash out of training with Dorian Yates because it's just simply too difficult. This could have been that situation with Sergio Oliva Jr. It's also possible that Sergio and Dorian simply didn't work well together. They are both strong personalities, so maybe that was a factor. They just didn't work well together in that sense. They couldn't communicate. I mean, who knows, you guys? But, it could just be as simple as maybe schedules didn't meet up. They both are very busy. They both have sponsors. They both have their own businesses, especially Sergio. It just seems like he continues to get sponsors. I mean, I think I would have counted, 4, 5, 6 sponsors at this point. Plus, he just launched his own personal training app, I believe. It's also possible that this simply could have been the end of their arrangement. Although I don't know about that, because my understanding is that Sergio was moving to Spain specifically to train with Dorian Yates and make his way back to that Olympia stage in 2024. But regardless, I think that this was Sergio's best shot at really getting back on that Olympia stage. No matter what coach that he's working with, and I believe he's still working with Neil Hill, we have no idea when he's competing, no idea exactly what went down between him and Dorian. And after seemingly moving to Spain, like I said, to train with Dorian specifically, so again, we are asking the question, what does the future hold as a professional bodybuilder at the elite level for this son of a former Mr. Olympia, Sergio Oliva Jr.? And as time continues to pass, the answer can only continue to creep forward to never gracing that Olympia stage again. He hasn't been at the Olympia since 2018, so unless he makes a move fast here, I don't think that he's going to have a chance when it comes to 2024, because there are still a lot of guys in that top 10 that still need to compete, let alone the top 15 or 16. And Sergio's going to have his work cut out for him. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. What could have happened between Sergio Oliva Jr. and Dorian Yates? Do you think that Sergio can actually win a pro show in 2024 and make it back to the Olympia stage? You guys let me know below. Anyway, that's it for me in this video, you guys. Thank you for tuning into EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.